What's up, Fanon? How you doing? You doing good? Yeah, how's your day? Hopefully it's good. Wow, that's what do I got here? Is that echoing to you? Maybe it's just me. I'm doing all right. Getting some feedback on my. I wonder if that's. Yep, that's what it is. Okay. There we go. All right. I was getting some. Maybe I'm still getting it. Okay, sounds all right. I'm hearing it in my. Which I don't even need that. I'm hearing it in that thing. But I don't even need that. I usually run without sound anyway. You doing Mayhem or what you up to? You headshotting them? Oh, nice. Yeah, this one's kind of tight for what is it like? We have only until the 10th. So I'm trying to push 10,000 points a day, and then I could do the Regulite. But otherwise, that's what I got to do. I got to do 10,000 points a day, which is turning out to be a pretty full day. Oh, awesome! Yeah, I got 10,000 done last night, so that was my goal to end the night with 10,000. So I'll probably be at it for a while. I don't get as many points in this one. I figured I'd run it because I'll do this on I'll throw this over on YouTube later for Cat 10. Just kind of wanted to get some footage for it. I don't really have any footage for my Cat 10 setup. I'll probably dip down to Cat 9 because it's just, I don't know. Can stack the buffs a lot better. Oh yeah, yesterday it was late start on box drops, and then they had kind of a mess yesterday getting started. But it's going. I don't know. I don't know if they changed it this year, but it used to be that every boss would give 250 points, but and yesterday it was working fine. But since today, I haven't gotten a single 250 pointer off of a boss anyway, which I thought is kind of odd. It's probably broken. I mean, I don't know. I guess it could be like random thing, but it used to be a pretty reliable thing in the past mayhems. So I don't know if they changed it or if it's broken. You just never know. Damn. Yeah, that's a lot for a one box. It's kind of shitty. I see a lot of people doing those lower cats though. It's pretty nice that people can pick it now rather than being forced to be into a certain one. Would you having some good luck in Cat 2 at least? After the rough start? I haven't really been paying attention too much to the things. I'm just happy this one's pretty easy, you know. Pretty much a one-hander anymore. Which is good because my wrist is fucking killing me. All this dragging and dropping and clicking for listing shit just it's having its toll on my wrist. Oh, awesome. How much is the silver total? How many points total is it? Or like per stage? This one's 10,000 points per stage, but I didn't really pay attention to the other ones. Oh, nice. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. I don't know. I picked Regulite because I really got to push it. I've got 3 rare tokens. I really need the M token to really cash them out, you know? Hey, thanks for the follow there, bad boy. Iceman. Hopefully you're doing good. Getting the big fat loots. Oh, okay, so 1,700 each stage. That's not bad at all. Shit, that's pretty good. Bella. Holy shit, how you doing? I saw you on Cyrene earlier. Bitching about what I was thinking about with the can't get into this damn mayhem. What the hell's going on, you know? Nice. Yeah, that's a good way to unwind. It's the mayhem. Hopefully you get a big fat 4 or 5 digit. Let's say 5 or 6. We'll go with 5 or 6. 5 or 6 digits. You deserve that. Then you can buy like half of Cyrene. It would be awesome. Yeah, I was right there with you. I was mentally there. Like, what the hell? I started this thing. I accepted the mission. I don't see no mission. I hit accept. I didn't see it pop up for like an hour, you know? Just like, I don't know what's going on, but I'll just grind away. %93. Dang. Is that just this mayhem already? That's burning a lot. Or is that recent times? Oh, nice. Congrats on that gun. That's a sexy gun. Congrats on using that thing. But you didn't. Oh yeah, so it's maps. But over 3 months though, that's what the return was on it, huh? That's pretty surprising. That's very surprising actually for a gun like that. That's kind of very disappointing. Was there what kind of amps were you using on it? Because that's the one thing with BLP that does suck is that proportionally you're kind of screwed with BLP because a lot of your DK is going to go into your amp, and if you don't have a really high efficient amp, you're kind of doing a disservice to the gun as opposed to like, you know, laser guns will have better, more efficient amps that match up better, and they're not as DK heavy, so they're not taking away as much away from the gun efficiency part of it, you know. But I didn't think it would have any kind of effect like that. That's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, even still, even with a Dante, it should be really kicking up there with I would think at least 97%, you know? Yeah, hopefully you got a big fat correction coming. Might be time to swap over to like a something really uneco really quick just to pop it. That'd be so nice if it worked like that. Oh, nice. Which pistol you have again? Is that one of those Cyrene ones? Oh, that's right. You. When did you get that one? I like that gun. I really regret that I sold it, and I sold it cheap. And then Joe sold it, and he regrets that he sold it. It didn't really work out for either one of us, I think, as much as we hoped. But I wish I would have kept it. That's a nice pistol, especially for the ped. It's a good value for the. It's a good value for the ped and the efficiency on it because it's what 70%. I mean that's like a mod merc anyway. Hell of a lot different price, but it's pretty much the same efficiency as a mod merc. Maybe not the DPS, but yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you got it. That means it's getting some use. Because a lot of times those get sold and then they end up in some guy's pocket while he tries to sell it for like 7 months or whatever it is, you know, trying to get his top dollar. And at least with that, I mean, the only thing, the thing I do hate about the laser guns is that the amps are so damn expensive. But at least they're more efficient overall. You know, they cost more, but at least they're a little bit more efficient. They're not taking away from your efficiency on the gun half as much. What's up, Fight Club? How you doing? Awesome, Fnun. Enjoy your food, man. Thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you again. Yeah, DPS isn't too bad on it. That is the kind of thing that sucks about pistols, though. That, you know, to get a good skilling pistol, it's kind of hard to get a good DPS anything, really. I mean, it is kind of hard. There's only a few. It's really limited in pistols. I guess there's that EMIC X5 for sale. That one, I used to want that one bad. That was a dream pistol for me a long time ago. Still probably wouldn't mind it to skill with, but I've already got enough BLP. If it was laser, I'd probably go with it. I think it's BLP anyway. What's up, Cinderella? Cinderleola. Nice. I like that. Thank you for the good luck. Yeah, that's the thing that I love about the high efficiency. That's the beauty of it, is you can just go forever. And then when you go to the repair, it's like nothing. You know? It's like nothing. Whereas like if I use the swine, after 15 minutes, that's like 400 ped if you go to the repair. And this thing after like an hour, like this whole setup is going to be 100 ped at the end of it. And most of it's, I think most of it's the armor. Maybe most of it's the arson chip. I don't remember. We'll have to see. I don't think I'm actually taking a whole lot of damage on this supremacy because it's usually, if I'm really taking hits with supremacy and using the armor, then it's usually like 150 an hour. But this is about as cheap as the improved Imperium or the adjusted, whatever it is, the improved Imperium, which is what I'm usually using. Are you able to upgrade that yet, by the way? I'm waiting for you to be able to upgrade mine. Yeah, I think it's pen, and I don't think it's impact because supremacy is pretty heavy on impact, and I'm still getting pretty heavy hits. But all I have is Mark 6A, so it's just a little bit of penetration in there. So I think it's mostly the shadow and the penetration on the Mark 6A. If I used a better plate, it probably wouldn't be half as bad in here, but this works. It's there's no markups, so it's pretty easy setup. But yeah, I think it is pen and maybe electric. For some reason, I seem to remember, or maybe I'm confusing that with Easter. I know I have the AP66 electric plates for one of the Mayhems anyway. I forget which one it is. Oh, okay, there is electric in it. Yeah, okay. What's up, Moon Tori? Thank you. So yeah, I probably could throw the electric plates on, but I don't know. They're pretty pricey. I like to save those actually for the demons in hell. There's some level 121 demons with the Gold Rush armor and a Pen 66 plate. You get like 120 electric, and they do all electric. So that's usually what I prefer to use those plates on if I can. Hey, thanks, bad boy. You too. Hope you hit the big one. No, I do think that there is a mix. I don't think it's just one or the other because there's definitely some because I've got part shadow and part supremacy, and some of them I'll get like 170 like that one, and then other ones I'll get hit like 85. So I definitely think that there's more than one damage type, and it's just kind of depending on which armor part it's hitting. But I seem to remember that there was a mix before. Yeah, exactly. The range is so big that it's got to kind of be a. If it was all just one damage type all the time, then it'd be pretty easy to tell. I think everybody just wants to get into it and doesn't want to test it anymore because it used to be. And I don't know, it's kind of hard for me to test it anymore with armors because I don't get hit as much. Like these guys will hit me, but I usually get evades all over the place in Cat 9. So I can't even test the armors anymore because if you're just getting evade, you can't tell whether you got hit with all electric plates on or what. It's been a while since I've done that, but that would be the right way to really figure it out is, throw on some all electric plates and see if they take damage. If they take damage, then you know that damage type is it. And then if you throw on all penetration plates or all impact or whatever it is, just as long as they take decay, then you know that it's actually doing it. If they don't take decay, then it didn't take that damage type. It's kind of a good way of kind of figuring out if there's multiple. Yeah, acid. I used to remember the acid was it was like Annihilation Zombies were acid but that was when there was dogs versus, or is it the dogs were acid and because it used to be divided out to where it was like all the zombies on one half and then it was the dogs on the other half, and then it was like each one had its own mix of damage types, and one of them was acid. Yeah, I think it was the dogs, but it might have been the zombies before they changed it all. Now I'm confused on that one because one of them did have acid at some point. Of course, isn't there an acid? It has to be the dogs because I think there's an acid dog in the survival. How you been looking, Luke? Haven't seen you in a while, man. What you been up to? Oh, you stopped playing, huh? I was wondering. I haven't seen you around. Hopefully life's treating you good. Are you playing different games or? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's too much. There is a lot of like player has to figure it out, which some people love and most people hate. Most people want easy. That's what other games give them, so that's what they're used to. Disc golf. Awesome. Is that's where they have the things in the parks for the pole or something? You have to hit the pole in the net. Is that what that is? All right, cool, man. Yeah, they probably kill me right here. Two's a bit much. Awesome, man. Yeah, I've heard about that. I think my cousin was getting into that, or my nephew. Yeah, this is a grind for the Mayhem tokens. I've got, I don't know, 80,000 tokens yet to get. They don't come. They don't come too good. I had some boxes or some keys left, and I tried boxes. I didn't get a single. So I was like, I guess. I guess I won't even try that. It'd be nice if they added more M token in those boxes. I'd be tempted to deposit if that was the case. It would tempt me. Oh, you did get a rare? Awesome. That's great. Congrats on that. Yeah, yeah. Once you get the rare though, it's like you go look at it, you're like, yeah, cool, what can I go get? And then you're like, oh shit. How many M token do I need? Damn it. How many more rares do I need? Shit. Exciting and then depressing at the same time, you know? But one day it's going to be glorious when we finally turn it all in. When we finally get that item, it's going to be glorious. Oh, and you already converted all. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah. You already burned all your M tokens. Convert that to pens because you're like, I'll never get a rare. My Dark's like, ding. Yeah, right. Think again. You're like, shit. And you can't convert it back. That's the worst part of it. Not like you can go back to the trader and be like, give me my M tokens back. Them damn traders. Stealing all our shit. They just sit there. They don't do shit. Sitting there at Twin Peaks all day. Wait for people to come and give them their hard-earned M tokens that they'll never get back. Yeah, exactly. Now we're suckered into it for the next couple years of mayhems. At least for me, it's going to be a couple years before I get what I need, and that's doing it full bore. Oh, look at that, 49.85, 15 peck. Welcome back. Yeah, exactly. Give me a refund on my M token, bastard. We should all mob him. I don't think that'll work though. Those damn NPCs are pretty hardcore. They'll stand up to all kinds of shit. Won't phase them. They're like the was it the English Guard, the Royal Guard? Oh, awesome. Yeah, they started setting those up before, before all the COVID stuff is when I last saw that, or even, and I haven't even heard of it since. So I'm glad that it's kind of getting back in there. It seems like a cool sport. 4 aces, that's pretty awesome. That's where you hit the pole. Is that where you directly hit the pole from like the first shot? Oh, nice. Hell yeah, dude. Congrats on that. So you're doing a league then, huh? That's badass. There used to see back in when I was younger, we did bowling leagues, and those were a lot of fun. And we used to run a bowling alley. My family did. So when I was a teenager, I'd help organize all the leagues and do all the different, I don't know, groupings and the steps and the ladders to get to the main trophy, and everybody's taking. They're a lot of fun, especially if you do where everybody pitches in like a $50 entrance fee, and then the entrance fee goes into the big pool to where everybody kind of competes towards the end, little brackets. That would be fun as shit to do some bracket type of frisbee golfing. Damn. Damn, that's some distance with the frisbee. Is that like on a perfectly calm day, or are you using wind and calculating it in your head? Like the wind's at 17 miles an hour, therefore I got to put it at a 34 degree to the right, elevated at 18 degrees. You're one of those guys, aren't you? Got to calculate. You got to, account for the curvature of the Earth for that kind of distance. Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, because it's ever changing. That's the great thing about outdoor sports. It's ever changing. You just never know what you're going to get. You got to deal with it. Damn, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's pretty hefty. I don't even know how far I could throw. That's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. Converting to feet, I got to convert it to feet because we're all backwards over here. Oh, tennis, nice. I never really got into tennis, but it's a pretty active sport. I know that much. It's a lot more cardiovascular than you think. That's great. Tennis is a great sport because the cardiovascular on it can be really really good for you. Oh, your target practice? You're the target dummy. Well, that's all right. You could be the ninja. It just like he'll be wanting to hit you, and then you keep just dodging them all, and then more anger builds up. It makes it you can win just by making sure he never hits you. Be the ninja of tennis, and then before you know it, by the time you start hitting the ball, you're kicking everybody's ass. It'd be sweet. Yeah, timing is pretty. Yeah, it's a skill to be able to really kind of calculate how things are coming at you, and be able to react to it. Oh yeah, on accident. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. It's usually how it goes. Inside, he's like smiling. No, he's wanting to get points instead. Don't get points hitting people. Yeah, do they? Or is it to the point to where they have like regulation frisbees now? Like you can only have like a 1.2 pound frisbee with a circumference of 12 inches or something. Like football, you can only have like a certain, like most of the sports have a regulation where they have your bat can only be made of whatever. I imagine by now they're designing high tech frisbees for Nike. Be interesting if they made it like an Olympic sport. Of course, I don't know. Did they even do that for golf? I don't follow golf that much. I don't even know if they do golf for an Olympic sport. I know tennis is. But tennis is pretty hardcore stuff. Stop copulating. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully you're doing good. Getting the big fat loots. Oh, so it's kind of like clubs. Like you get to choose whether or not you want to use your putter versus your heavyweight. That's interesting. So it's kind of like picking an iron, maybe. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I would think that. Yeah, I wonder. I would think that they would have tried to level the playing field more. Most new sports have some kind of leveling the player field for everybody. Yeah, I'll bet you've got. I bet there's probably different throws that you learn too, like maybe underhand for certain things, or I don't know. That sounds cool, man. Almost got too close there. 20 to 25 discs in your bag. Wow, that's you're doing some hardcore shit. Do they have like a pro circuit? It sounds like some pro circuit shit. Hopefully, there'd be some money in it. There'd be some badass shit. I don't know. I used to race mountain bikes, and even though there wasn't money in it, it was a lot of fun to do the competitive circuits. Because a lot of times you'd still get for your entry fee, they'd have a lot of prizes they would have pre-bought, like free, you know, I don't know, free gears or free gear sets or free rims or free bike seats or whatever it is. Some sponsor will throw in some shit. Oh, really? That's awesome, man. It does sound like a good way to get out and do shit, you know? A whole lot better than sitting in a chair all day. Of course, America's totally different when it comes to, Europeans. You guys have it a hell of a lot better when it comes to. We don't even have like general stuff in the park unless it's for kids. There's no calisthenics stuff at the park. There's a lot of places in Europe where you can find actual like calisthenics equipment where you can do some body weights or pull ups, or there's not a lot of that out here. It's kind of crazy. It's really impressive to me how Europe has their outdoor spaces set up for people to be able to go out and actually exercise. That it's not just for the kids. It's not some plastic slide that you gotta squeeze into and be like, oh, okay, I gotta work out, I guess. Or a swing. It's not like the best workout in the world. Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the way it should be. I think it's great. I think it's great to see that shit. I know I'd probably be more tempted to go out if there was more kind of things to do while I was out walking around. But here people go for walks, and then that's about it. There might be a bench along the way where you can sit, but there's no like bars of any sort along the way that you could do pull-ups or anything. Work your triceps, whatever. Yeah, I've never tried it either. It looks pretty fun. There he is. A little better move before I get him too. Oh yeah, yeah. We have a great way. Yeah, We're really good at wasting or not wasting, but using up open spaces for things like that. I think they installed one near where I'm at, but it's been so long since I've been back there. It's got to be. I can't imagine they would have torn it out. It'd be a pretty fun course, though. Would be a fun way to vacation too. Just go around and get into some open spaces around the country. There's a lot of places like that in Europe I'd like to go to. I don't know. We typically get this picture of like Europe as just a big packed metropolis of people all over the place. But there's YouTube channels and stuff you can go to, and some really nice countrysides out there that they don't tend to want to show us. At least it seems that way to me. They don't tend to show the countrysides on the news. They don't tend to show anything really rural when it comes to Europe. It's mostly just cities, metropolis, government, business, people on the move doing stuff in the big populated place. That's all we ever see. Oh, that's awesome. So, do you think you could get better distance with backhand, or do you think you're pretty much near your max on what you can do? I don't know. What is the record on that? There's got to be like a world record on that, isn't there? Like distance wise, what do you got to beat? It's just a world record. Just go with that. Oh, damn. 16 minutes. Yeah, hopefully they give you a big fat correction towards the end. I only do hours at a time because I don't know. I can't stay in there 5 hours. I gotta take breaks. I'm old. But yeah, damn. Give her off. Oh wow, 1,200 feet. Yeah, that's impressive as shit. But not surprising. I mean, I'm sure with the right technology and the right throw and the right catch in the wind, there's some pretty impressive. They've got paper airplanes now. They can go fucking forever. Who knows what material they want to use? They have a new synthetic spider silk. I'm sure they'll be coming out with weird shit with that. Hey, that's a good thing. You're not old if they think you look like a teen. That's the thing. You're a time traveler. See, there is no old when other people think you're young. That's how it works. Only wisdom brings us old. That makes sense. That's the only part of it that makes sense. Is you've got the wisdom, but you look like a teenager. So they were probably thrown off, and they're like, wait a minute, this person is like wise shit. That's probably the only thing that threw him off. Is just your wisdom, because otherwise it'd be like, oh, it's just a stupid teenager, and all the teenagers would be like, oh, but just grow up, and then you'll realize how stupid you were. We were all there. I don't know, man. There's some. I don't know what kind of magic is out there nowadays, but I see some ladies out there that are like, "Oh, I'm 45," and she looks like she's 20, and you're like, "What? Wait a minute. How does that work?" Somebody's lying. But no. So I don't know. Nowadays, you never know. Especially if you're doing tennis. I mean, that'll keep you fit. 38 isn't that old anyway. That's pretty young still. That's like, yeah, that's young. Yeah, I don't know. I still think. I mean, there's women in their 50s that look good to me, but I'm getting older, so maybe my tastes have changed a little bit. There's women in their 60s that still look good. There's some women out there that really keep keep at it, keep in shape, doing whatever they're doing. Maybe it's all Botox or something, but something. It's not the norm, but there's definitely some out there. So I get confused anymore. If I could see between 20 and 47 and be confused, I would easily be confused between 30, 38, and 17. Yeah, Cher. Yeah, I don't know though. I mean, she did. I don't know if she actually ever really looked young. That's the thing to me. She had that long face that always just kind of looked like she was middle aged for the start. Maybe that's just me, but that's just my impression of Cher. you know, she was like middle aged from like right when she started. Her and Sunny. It was like, holy shit, this lady started late. But no, she was young. But she kept it. She had the look for like the longest time, just like without much change at all, for just decades. Oh yeah, Jennifer Aniston. She's kept up pretty good, and she doesn't look like she actually does. There's a lot of them that go out there and do the Botox or whatever it is, the plastic surgery, and then they look like so much shit. And it looks like she's avoided that for the most part because it's usually whenever they do that, to me, they just start looking like shit. You can just tell it's not natural, you know? I think that's probably her secret is she just hasn't done anything, you know? And then she used Olay. What was that her thing? Olay facial cream. So maybe that's the secret. I don't know. I would only know that because my wife was a Jennifer Aniston fanatic. So we had to watch Friends all the time, and it was bad. But you do what you do to stay alive in a relationship like that. Damn, 700 feet? That's a distance. Yeah, how much is a yard again? Is that what, 2 football fields or something? I'm forgetting what a yard is. Is a yard 3 feet? Oh, 3. Yeah, so that's like 2 football fields. Shit. That's that's pretty crazy, you know? Yeah, I mean, a football field is pretty fucking long, you know? If you ever play football, you know that running 100 yards is not a quick little jaunt. Especially when you see all those guys on the TV camera where there's like 20 of them running around and they're barely covering the field, you know? And 2 of those, that's long ass. I don't even think you can kick a football that far. Yeah, I don't care. Yeah, as long as it's not like, something that'll get you in trouble. The thing might ban, it might like, I don't know, I have a chat bot that might kind of put some stuff out there, but nice. Oh, I better pay attention here before I. Did I just accidentally end the stream? I think I hit the end stream button on accident, but it didn't take, thankfully. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, it'd be a great way to get out in nature, that's for sure. It's one good thing about golf and like mountain biking was like that too. There were a lot of places that were like that, especially like some of the courses that we did. You go through, we actually did them in ski resort places. So ski trails during the summertime. It's nice to just be surrounded by trees, throwing shit around. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I imagine are most of the frisbees red, just so that you can find them and shit. Yeah, that's sweet, man. I'm glad you're enjoying that. Sounds like you're having more fun doing that than Entropia, which is awesome. The green courses, are you talking about? Yeah, I would think that would be a pain too. Yeah, without the setup or time or experience with it, it's a pretty rough game. I pretty much just do it to maintain. Mostly, other than this is my land, this is what I bought, and then I put a little bit more into the land for, or the shop. Maybe that's what I was putting inventory. But most of the stuff I just do withdrawals now. It's working out pretty good. And then I've got one, the land's paid off, so the other one will start getting paid off here in the next year or two. I got to work it more, and then that'll be paid back, or I'll pay myself back rather. Then I'm not sure what I'll do. Probably just, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to Unreal because I'm getting kind of bored. Getting kind of bored with the game. If it wasn't withdrawals all the time, then I'd be having a hard time keeping engaged. But I'm looking forward to Unreal. I hope it does it. Yeah, green would be hard to find. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about there. Yeah, green or brown. Yeah, or yellow. Yellow here because we have a lot of yellow, brown, shitty weeds and shit. 540 this time. See, I have more this time, but that's not usually the. See, I'm not taking much out of the supremacy, but I'm also taking more out of the. Taking more damage out of the shadow than I am supremacy for whatever reason. Which is actually kind of surprising. And then the 6A, I'm barely taking stuff out. So it's just barely pen. So I don't think pen is very big at all because it's only taking out that much for the whole. So I'm not even really getting much advantage out of using those plates. But there's no markup. I don't know. Maybe I forgot to. I don't know. That's not too bad. And I had 2,500 in ammo, and now I've got 2,800. Yeah. So even with the 150, I'm up 150 on that run. Sweet. But I got a lot of these to get. So many more. All right. Yeah, decay was 150 that time, which I'm not sure if I forgot if I. There was a little bit in there from crafting, but that shouldn't have been it. Maybe I just. Yeah, I don't know why. But it was 150 ped in decays total. So it must have been that I was taking a bunch with the supremacy because it was like 110 last time I did the cat 10. So I guess I'll do I'll pop into this setup and do cat 9 and then we'll compare that. So I'm at 2,800 now on ammo. And I got enhancers. So I'm good. And then this one will be like 100. This one's a lot easier on the decay. But it's not much. I mean, it's only 50 ped out of, it's like 2,000 ped spent in ammo or close to that. I don't know. I did catch a couple more doubles on that one than I usually do, and that takes up. They start hitting me a lot. I have to fap a lot, and then it takes a while. So maybe that's what did it. I don't know. I'll have to pay attention to that next time. Nine is more ideal anyway because I get 2 bosses for the hour, and then it's like perfect for the arson chip. The smaller ones I hate to do because then I can't use my arson chip, and I feel like I'm neglecting it. It's so shitty. It's just a fucking arson chip. But I got to time my mobs around it, you know. Probably getting, yeah, a lot more exercise at least too. Getting a little bit of a tan, I'm sure. Although in the wintertime in Denmark, that's going to be shutting down here pretty soon, isn't it? Or do you guys have like ice golf, frisbee, ice golfing? Now that would be a fun sport. Go out on a lake with some ice skates and then try to throw it. Oh yeah, it's kind of the same here. I live in Colorado. We're known as like the skiing state, you know. Everybody comes up here to ski apparently, and I don't know. We don't really get that much snow really. It's mostly they have machines at the ski resorts that make snow, and like they spend a few weeks making snow every year. No, I'll probably keep this just because I don't. You know, I've already spent 100,000 on tiers alone, and I really don't want to do that with another gun. This works for me. I mean, this with the land, the real benefit of owning land when you have a setup like this is that when you're generating taxes and you're able to cycle at a rate that's near 100%, then basically all your taxes are yours. You know, so it becomes like it's like a compounding effect that's really the reason I own it is just because this setup it works with that it generates good income off that. And the skills on this is actually it's one of the reasons I switched over because BLP gets stagnant on, you know, you can only sell so much BLP before everybody's got it. You know, there's so many BLP guns most people have. You know, there's just a lot more BLP or laser out there than there is melee or Mindforce or any other. And at least with this, the skill factor is huge because I sell a lot of skills and the skills add up. And when you've got a specialized set like Mindforce and you can skill like that with a chip like this, then you know the skill value for your time really is probably better than I don't know. Melee is probably pretty close up there because there's a lot of good stuff with melee with you know hit points and things like that. But all the Mindforce related skills, they all sell really well for me, and I just make them like mad. It just doesn't even it won't even stop, you know. So for that reason too is why I'll probably never really jump away from this. Because on my land, just on the skill bonuses alone that I offer, the skill sales that I make, it's like $21 an hour. That's just the selling the skills, and then it's another $8 an hour on the taxes. So it's like $30 an hour by just selling skills and making taxes. It's mind blowing, you know. It's crazy how it works out. Alrighty. Have fun at the dock, hopefully. Hopefully they give you a clean bill of health and you win a prize or something. I don't know. They should have more prizes at the doctor office. There needs to be a treasure chest with some kind of something in it. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a good one. Hopefully your next 5 hours goes better. Yeah. Yeah, and especially the Mindforce is really awesome with limited chips because you get the if you get the implants that do the reduction on decay, so you can get 20% reduction on that. Then you can throw an air matrix on it. I believe you can throw an air matrix on it now. And then yeah, so the implant that has the decay on it as well. So you end up getting a chip that just lasts forever because you've got like 40% taken away from it. Yeah, these things. Yeah, that little deterioration bonus. This one's only 10%, but I sold the one I had 20%. I might need to buy it back after this tiers to 10 though. Oh yeah, yeah, and they last forever too. Yeah, they hardly have any decay behind them, which is cool and not so cool because it's not like I'll ever really hit a big one with this setup. It's steady, but there's not going to be any big, massive hits by and large, unless I get really lucky. But if you're selling skills, then that's at least that's my plan. Is I just sell the skills, so I don't have to worry about as much about that. Taking a hit on me. Oh, I thought that was robot looter. I was like, why did I get this chunk of robot looter on here? Got like 7% on mutant looter already today. Or at least this session, this last hour and a half. Could use more points though. I'm trying to get 10,000 a day, which it's turning out to be a full day, because I'm only at 1,500 now or 15,000. I need 20 before I end the day. That's all right. And then you can pick back up, or at least maybe come back in Unreal. If that's the other thing I really like is if Unreal really picks up more players, then people like you can log in and have like some good value on your shit, and decide whether or not you want to sell it or keep on with it or keep it around or what. But I'm hoping that everybody's skills and items might get a boost if we got a bunch of players. I don't know though. I don't know if the world seems like it's in the games half as much as it was 10 years ago, you know? Maybe it's me. It seems like there's an overall, like, a different attitude towards games like this now, for sure, than there was, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. It was huge. There was a lot of hype behind it, you know, a lot of excitement. Yeah, there gets it. Yeah, it gets to be a point too where it's kind of where it got for me, at least, is it's like, okay, well, either I have to put this down and realize that I'm not going to be able to get anything out of this, or I have to really put the money into it, or put the time into it, and really see if I can get it to work for me. But in order to get it to work for you, you gotta. It takes the gear, it takes the rings, it takes the buffs, it takes all the shit, you know. Which is nice. At least it gives it a value. You know, at least the value is there, but it's expensive. It's not cheap. I mean, I don't know. Like that last setup was like I think it's like $40,000 when I'm using supremacy. If I use supremacy with the mod plates, it's like $40,000 in gear just to get at Cat 10 to be able to do it without really struggling and not really losing your ass. You know, it's a lot of money to put in there to get to that point where it's not really like you're, you know, hand over fist making out large either, you know. So yeah, I hear you. Even when you got the money to play, you know, or even when you don't need the money to play. Like at this point, I don't need the money to play. But it's still it's still work, you know. That's, you know, probably the only reason I actually do play though is because I don't have to deposit. You know, like I don't do deposits, and I'm making sure I'm doing my best to make sure that I'm always coming out ahead, even though I still fuck up and I'll still do explosives on condition every once in a while. You know, I'll still do the stupid shit, but I'm trying to discipline myself to make sure that I'm okay. I'm going to do it without, and I'm going to make it work. Damn it, and it's working so far, but it's, you know, it's tight. I have to watch myself because it's easy to spend in this game. That's the problem with it. Is it's just so easy to just, oh, okay, I got the ped, I can go buy the shit, or I can go click it. You know, I'll just go click it. I'll win it all, and it never works out. And then you're like, shit, I got to be careful. Oh yeah, for sure, and that's the crazy part too. For me too. I don't, you know, my only income is based off of this game. That's the craziest thing about it. Everything I make is based off of this game. It all came from this game. Other than that, I don't have. I really don't make. I don't make, you know, poverty level income. It's kind of crazy. Without the game and what it's given me, I would be in poverty level. But this seems to provide. Seems to work. I also got pretty lucky. You know. I don't know. I never would have imagined the condo that I bought from the game would have got, you know, gets the rent that it does. That's what I mostly live off of is the rent. But that came out of the cash out from like in 2008 when the housing market was all perfectly shitty. Kind of like a once in a lifetime timing kind of thing. Yeah, that's the mind blowing thing about it is I make more with the game than anything, and it's mind blowing. I bought a bunch of stocks, and I don't know. I've got it somewhere. I forget what it was, like 2000. It was 5 years ago from now. But I put $5,000 in the stock market, and that's over. That was all from the game. That was like withdrawals that I took out from the game. I think I sold. What the hell did I sell? It was something big I sold. It was like $3,000 I sold once, and then there was something else I sold. And I put that in the stock market. And I got really lucky there too, you know. But it's luck, you know. It's like mostly luck, and it's just bizarre that it's all from a video game, you know. It's just more serendipity than anything, I think. Although there's some really really good years there in like the early like 2012, 2014, even 2010. If you're a crafter selling amps, it was like gold mining because you could list 20, come back like 2 hours later and they'd be sold. You know, you buy the residue, you click 20 more out, you come back 2 hours later, they'd be sold. You just do that all the day long. It was golden days back then. That was also really nice back then when the economy was good in the game because you could really make some good money with the volume. You'd still do it kind of now. It's competitive. There's some really good crafters now, and they're good about sourcing shit. Since I play cheap, I try to source all my stuff myself. You know, make it hard on myself. So it's slower. You can't click out 20 amps in a row if you do that way. But it works. Yeah, Norwegian gas. Yeah, no shit. Thanks to that pipeline. Norwegian gas is looking pretty good right now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Although back then, I mean, 250 amps would like literally, you could almost. There were days that I could sell that many amps in a day. That's how crazy it was back then. It was good days. And when you're making like 5 to 10 pet an amp, you know that really adds up every day. Get a Hoff here and there along the way. It's great. But that was a different market, you know. Even back then, like residues were like 120%. You know, so people are clicking out basic filters and making pretty decent money on the residue at least, you know. There's more. There was more for people around everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, Russia and Saudi Arabia are kind of playing some games, aren't they? With the oil. They're trying. I kind of have a feeling that we might. I don't know. I mean, we have elections coming up here in like a week, and if things turn out the way the polls say that they might, then we might actually get some policy in there to open up our oil again or our processing power. You know, that would really help alleviate a lot of the problems. We just shut off all our stuff. Most of our stuff, we just shut it off. We're not issuing permits for things, you know. But if we open that back up, then it might be at least better on this end of the world. Help fight that, you know, the OPEC and what Russia's trying to do anyway. Because otherwise, that's what it is. It's like Norwegian oil stuff coming from up north. That's like the only real saving grace right now for all of Europe. Yeah, 2016 was good times. Yeah, that was good times back then. It was after all the bullshit. People were still kind of coming back into the game and getting into space, and yeah, that was good times back then. I hope Unreal brings that stuff back. Yeah, exactly. That whole pipeline, that whole Nord Stream thing was perfect for you guys. You guys were celebrating, I'm sure. I do find it interesting that nobody wants to say who did it. There's like what is it? Sweden, and is it Denmark or is it Norway? That I think it's Sweden, Denmark, or Norway and Germany that did the investigations. And they said, "Oh yeah, we figured out who did it, but we're not going to tell anybody." Which has me thinking, I know who it is because it's obviously UAPs. The UFOs in the ocean that they just admitted to. That's what it is. It's the UFOs. I'm telling you. It's not Russia, it's not the USA, it's the UFOs. They don't want to tell us. The UFOs destroyed the pipeline because they have some kind of, they're selling us energy from planet Zeton or something. And they don't want Russia to do it. I think that's what that says when they don't want to say who did the pipeline thing. It's those UFOs that come in and out of the water. And then they destroyed it all. Now we're blaming each other. The aliens are laughing. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. But Nord Stream blowing up is a good thing for your pipeline because the Nord Stream pipeline was the primary, and then once they blew that apart, now yours is the primary. Yours is like the golden road. Yours is the savior now. So that's the only reason I say that is because Nord Stream is Russia, but it's kind of fucked right now. Although I think they say they can fix it. I think the Norwegians think they can fix it, or maybe Finland thinks they can fix it. But it'll take them a year to fix that because they blew it up in like 4 different spots for that Nord Stream, that Russian one. So they got some repairs. Yeah, it'll take a while, especially I don't know. It's kind of hard to imagine how they blew it up in the first place because it's such a highly fortified pipeline. You really need some specialized equipment that would be really hard to not notice who did it. So I'm not too surprised that they know who did it because there's really only a couple entities in the world that really could pull it off. And even still, they didn't really apparently do as much damage as they hoped because it's fixable. And maybe next year they're thinking. What's up, Lucifer? This is the Corrosive Attack Nano 13. Pop that up there for you. Yeah, it's a fun one. It's got 80% efficiency on it and just keeps ticking like a bunny. Yeah, although, there's enough sensors on those things. There's enough sensors, and there's only, the technology to be able to blow it up because of the fortification. You really need specialized, like, it's not just a simple bomb that could do that. You need to have like a special team that's trained to do that. There's only so many countries that have teams that are trained to do that. So it really kind of narrows it down when you look at the construction and just what kind of damage they did do. It's really kind of hard to pull it off if you're just like somebody wanted to just raise heck on it because they design it for the purpose of lasting through earthquakes and shit. So they're definitely not very easy to take to dismantle like that. But we also have like, I don't know, there was like a lot of our officials back in February talking about how they were going to blow it up if Russia decided to act too far. If Russia went too far, we're just going to take it out, is what they said. So I don't know. It seems to me like the writing's on the wall on who actually did it, but they don't want to ruin, because I know Sweden wants to get into the NATO, so that's probably why they don't want to say it. I don't know why Germany wouldn't want to say. I can't imagine Germany's not totally pissed off at the U.S. anyway, because first we're spying on them, next we're blowing up their pipelines. Like I don't know why Germany would hold that back if that's what that was. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and it's so hard to tell exactly what the truth is out of Ukraine anymore either. Like you don't know if like half the news is real. At least I don't know. For me, it just seems like all manufactured. But somebody did it. Somebody did it. I don't know who it is. It certainly would benefit Ukraine to do it. So I wouldn't throw Ukraine out of the mix either, because they would get a lot out of it if they could bring everybody into war with Russia. Because they really want to get into NATO and they aren't going to get in. So they're pretty desperate right now. They want in bad. It's kind of their only hope. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to be let to dry. Oh yeah, for sure. It's backfired on on both sides, really. Yeah, because that's kind of the last thing Russia wanted is to have. That's one of the. That was, I think, I don't even know. That may have been one of part of the agreements is that they couldn't encroach with Finland or Sweden, but now everything's changed. They took the opportunity to pull them in because Russia's really always been pretty strong about we don't want people on our borders on NATO, and we don't want NATO just coming across our borders like everywhere it comes across. But Finland and Sweden are very strategic. They would be like one of the first strategic places that Russia would hit if they were going to start going all out, because that if they took over that would be huge for Russia, and it's always been a huge thing. That's kind of why we have such kind of good relations with Sweden and Finland as it is. It's because it's a stepping ground Russia's always really wanted to get into if they could, but they've always wanted to prevent NATO from getting into also. But there they are. They're in there now. Because it's actually pretty strategically. I mean, Finland has got some pretty. I mean, just with the ports and the wood and and then Sweden's got some farmland that would be really really important actually for them. It's really interesting how that's kind of been like a hidden Cold War up there. Is that's always been like a if they're going to go somewhere, that's where they would go. And I don't know if it's good to entice it either. They have. I don't know. Ultimately, it just might push Finland into more trouble than it might be worth for them. I hope it's not more trouble than it might be worth for them. In other words, staying neutral kind of had Russia not bothering them half as much as I think they might bother him now. That's the only thing I don't know is it's the good long term thing. Is it just it gives you poke Russia the bear, and now they can come out and start swiping at you here and there, start coming over your territory just to play with you like they do in Russia, Alaska with us. Once you get next to them, they play games. Because that's what I'd hate to see is like Finland and Sweden get dragged into, let's say NATO does decide to go to war with Russia all of a sudden. That it just makes them a target at that point. They're protected by NATO, yeah, but if NATO and they go to war, then if you're part of NATO, you're a target. I don't think that'll ever happen because I don't think Russia's strong enough. I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're. I think they're struggling with their. They almost had it going where they were trying to make a new financial system based off the ruble and everything, but other countries are just not buying it, and I think that might really screw them because it's just finally kind of come out in the last month that other countries aren't going to be getting into their system half as much as they were planning on or using their new system. They're getting too much pressure from the West. So we'll see. I don't think it's looking good, but I don't know if it's good to have a desperate Russia either. If Russia gets desperate, that might be a scary prospect because any country that gets desperate and put in a corner and feels like they need to just lash out and do whatever it takes, that's always a danger. Doesn't matter who it is, Could be North Korea, you do that. You never know what they're going to do. Don't put animals in cages if you don't. So hopefully that doesn't backfire. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, especially when apparently a lot of the conscription that they're doing is they're not really they're taking people who have prior experience and then they're taking like prisoners over just everyday people. So it's kind of nice for the citizens that they're doing that, but at the same time, what they're doing to their military is pretty shitty because you're getting a bunch of people who don't listen, and then you kind of have to, you see stuff where they're treating them like shit because they already hate each other because they're like, oh, these guys are prisoners. I'm a military guy. The prisoners are like, oh, these military guys don't know shit. We're prisoners. I don't know if that's a good move at all to do that. I don't think that's good. Yeah, that's not winning a war when you start with morale like that. Yeah, you start doing that to your fighters and mingling in like that, and that it's kind of like what like Persians did, or like even any of the great empires of the long ago, where they just take people from different tribes and go about their merry way. It doesn't end out well usually because those people are not 100% in it. They're already slaves, basically. They're already not liking the guy next to them. They're already infighting as they're marching down the road. But I also think it's kind of a strategic thing that Russia might be doing because I don't think they really care about the guys that they do throw out there in this. Like, if it does come down to where they do have to start committing forces, that's kind of who they want to throw out the fodder to, I think. So I don't know if it's. I wouldn't be surprised anyway if that's half of it is just because they want to. They don't respect those people anyway. So why would they treat them like, with any kind of respect? Be kind of like a Leningrad thing or Stalingrad thing where here's one bullet and a rifle. Good luck. We don't really care about you anyway. Just make sure you hold the line. Yeah, to me that sounds more like cannon fodder. That sounds more like cannon fodder to me than it does an army. Because that's just why would you do that if you're actually really wanting to commit and win the battlefield war? Unless you're just throwing bodies out there to be absorbed while you bomb or do drones or whatever it is for your main impact. and distract everybody with cannon fodder like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what Russia's up to. Really, is that it's some sort of they'll put people on lines and they'll have Ukraine direct everybody to go counter the big army of 300,000 people who don't know how to fight. And then they can go off and do what they want. They probably will do something like that, I would think. It'll be used as a distraction. I saw one earlier, like yesterday, but I think that was 3 days ago. No, 4 days ago. That was before Mayhem started. But that must have been a box. It was like after they announced the new boxes, somebody opened up a box and got a rare Mayhem token. But that's the only one I saw. I haven't seen any looted since. But I haven't been paying 100% attention. But yeah, it is kind of. Like the bosses yesterday, they were all dropping, the 250 points for each boss that you normally get. It was working okay yesterday, and then today I haven't gotten it, or at least I didn't. I wasn't paying attention this last run, but it's been kind of iffy. So I kind of wonder if things aren't broken still. They've been having some problems with getting people started. It took like an hour to accept the mission. Like once you accept the mission, it like took an hour for it to actually start counting. So I did like an hour of no point counting at all because it was just waiting to figure itself out. I don't know what happened with that. That was weird. Well, I saw Hoff the other day, so I don't think they removed unless they did the update with the update. Maybe they don't want people getting jealous, logging out every time they see a rare token. I wonder what the metrics are on that. Like rare token, like 10% log out. Rage quit. There's got to be a certain percentage of like rage quit factor with Hoffs hit or all-time highs. Some spike of like log out. Yeah, there was one time I didn't get a Hoff, but I had the rare in inventory with me, and I wasn't sure. I just assumed it's because I had a rare in inventory at the same time. And then there's also sometimes on like other Hoffs you can get like in rare dungeons, like a lost time crystal, and then if you do it in an hour, and you get another one, it won't do it. So I think there might be like a timer, or if you have one in inventory on you. But I know I've gotten a second Hoff, even though I had a token in storage anyway. Yeah, I had 2 Hoffs and 1 no Hoff. One was none out of my 3 so far. I don't really expect that I'll get too many more. Although I don't know, last seasons they were dropping pretty common. I mean, I was a little surprised actually that they were letting them drop that much. It seemed like a lot of people got some rares last. I guess that was Easter, spring, the last time we did it. So far, I've gotten 1 Arson 1 unlimited chip, or not unlimited, but 1 Arson 1 chip for loot, and that's it. There's no Mayhem armors so far. There's usually like a megaton frag fire or some kind of shit like that, like some kind of gun. Or even those, what were those, Enigma? Not Enigmas, but there's some kind of gun that was dropping in here, and even Mayhem guns, I guess. I haven't seen anything drop so far, but That could just be shitty luck too. But I haven't seen any hops for those either. Because every once in a while you'll see the Mayhem Armour or something. I wouldn't be surprised. They had a pretty shitty start, so I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't link up the loot correctly. Everybody's going and there's no loot. Susie. There's Susie. How you doing? Susie Ween indeed. Happy Halloween. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, 0 items. Yeah, I haven't heard of anybody with items so far. I'll bet that they didn't I bet they don't even have the loot tables correctly tied in. They're just like, "Are you getting tokens? Okay, good. Make it live." Then they go to the bar to relax. It's like, "Whoa, that was close. People couldn't get in for a while, but we fixed it." And then today I logged in and I couldn't get in for like an hour. I had to support case it. Super Prez, how you doing? It does seem like, yeah. It does seem like it. Or maybe about the same. I think it's about 40 or so that I was averaging just without big daily token, claims or something like that last year. So maybe it's about the same. But there's bigger rewards, I think, in the mission. So that might be it. Between the daily mission and the other mission, maybe those adding up is probably what might seem more overall. Because I don't think I was getting 300 points per stage. I think it was like only 150 per stage on the last Mayhem. But I'm also not getting the 250 point guarantee on the boss either. So I don't know. I don't know if it's intentional that way. Ooh, invoices. Yum. Bureaucracy rocks. Yay, bureaucracy. No hunt tomorrow? All right. I probably would be doing this anyway. Unfortunately, these guys are making me work for this year. Because it's only like less than 2 weeks. For Regilite, I need 10,000 points a day to do it. But thanks for letting me know. It's a bummer. But next month will be even more glorious that way. And then we could be thankful for the great hoffs that we loot. There we go. We don't need no spooky hoffs. I need to change up my Yeah, exactly. We need to beat that thing. We need to double it at least. Besides, the next Mayhem has the logs. And that's where oh. Sorry, I was reading something there. Yeah, she gets to hold up our logs for us. The Christmas one. New York Rose holding up the logs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, team hunts are a little weird. I don't know if I trust how they divvy up the. I don't know if I trust the system when it comes to multiple people. You know, that's the only thing that for me anyway. I don't mind doing it when it's like friends, things like that. When it's team for team, you know, it's for fun. You know, shouldn't be all about the loot. But when I look at the team mechanics in general, or even shared loot mobs, like especially shared loot mobs, that's where I really start to wonder, like, how fair really is it? Because there was one time where I was at the Molman spawn off of Fort Jason or whatever it is, and I was just doing a test because we had a team hunt where we were doing one of our team hunts, and there was a big old thing about one of the guys in our society blamed, I think it was, I forget what it was, but people were blaming each other about like who's got the missing loot because we hit a big global and it was a certain amount, but everybody got shitty shrapnel. So there's like, okay, there's an item in here, but it's a shared loot mob, you know, so you don't know if somebody's shooting from way off in the side of the distance. They could have gotten it for all you know, but there's this huge infighting within the thing about who got the item, and everybody's like, I didn't get the item, no, you know, and I trust everybody there, but there's people in the team that didn't know each other from before, so they don't trust each other automatically, you know, even though you might trust everybody there. And you're like, I trust this guy. This guy, he wouldn't do that. It's just funny how it works out that way. And then, you know, so I did a test and I was like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that there was some guy that was pop shotting it and he probably got like the gun or whatever it was. So that day I spent and I took my armor and I just went and sat there and just fapped as long as I could and then died. And then I did that a couple times. And then I went and I did some shit AFK. And then while I was sitting there at the revive, I globaled. And then I look in and there's an ESI. And then I'm like, okay, so all I did was go in there with my armor, take a bunch of damage, and then wait for some poor sap to go through there. And I just stole his ESI. So ever since then, I'm like not trusting the whole system at all because that's not fair. You know, there shouldn't be that. I just fapped and did some armor and I should be getting an ESI off of that decay. But that's what happened. So now, you know, I don't trust it. That's the only thing I don't, you know, you could do the littlest damage and still get the item. And that to me just seems so wrong when there should be some sort of better mechanic. I mean, there should be something to entice people to actually want to do it, sure, but they should at least divide up an ESI. You know, if there's going to be multiple parties on an ESI, divide it out or make a gun that's 200 ped, 5 20 ped guns, or, you know, 10 20 ped guns, whatever it is. That would be the best way to do it for me, because it doesn't matter if you got the same TT of the gun, then it should be the same, whether or not everybody's got a 20 ped gun or or one person's got a 200 ped gun. It's the same TT on the market. So that's where I think that to me, it just seems wrong. You know, it seems like it's not doing it fair. Like, you know, that's probably where, and who knows whose cycle was that gun supposed to go to? You know, it's like there's somebody that was down 300 ped and then the gun looted, but some guy that was pot shotting it got it instead. And it went to his cycle instead of the guy who actually needed, you know, I don't know. So that's where I'm at. That's my rant on the whole shared loot. Don't trust it. But I do it for fun. I'll do it with Susie and the gang because I have fun. And I actually hate sharing loot, so I usually give it away because I hate it. So if you can't beat it, throw it at them. Yeah, no count vamp anymore. Yeah, it's like a Kareem all whatever he is. I forget. There's a boss mob now instead of vamp, but you can leave at any time. It's just like a 5-hour instance. That's the max before it kicks you out. But you can leave anytime. And if you've got the right if you've got the right gear for your level, whatever you're doing, your cat, then you should be getting 2 bosses per hour. If you're under DPS for that category, then you might get one at like 40 minutes or 50 minutes in. And that's how you kind of know where your DPS level's at. But so now it's 2 bosses per hour, basically, if you're doing the right cat for your DPS. And that's what counts for the vamp now, which is a bummer because I like the vamp. I don't know why they took him away. He was fun. I think you could probably jump over the fence. I think you can. I wonder if, yeah, I guess I haven't actually run up there to double check. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't let us. Maybe I remember that I did try to do that before and it doesn't let us. I'll check after my pills are done here. While my pills are going, I like to make it effective. But I'll check. Yeah, I'll put. Yeah, I want that. Yeah, I want the evil weapons. Yeah, those were better, I think. Those are better than grinding for like years on Mayhem tokens. Yeah, evil essence was what it was a rare drop that the boss would drop, the Count Vamp. And then there was a mystery box at his feet. And you could use that to open up the box and get some special loots. Yeah, that was fun. One interesting thing about this whole instance is that I was looking back on the Planet Michael. I don't know if any of you guys knew about, but there was Planet Michael Jackson was a thing where they were actually going to make Planet Michael Jackson. They had a deal going, and they actually did some work behind it, like some pre-planet work, like how the planet would be designed. And this instance is part of the Planet Michael Jackson asset package or whatever they were trying to display for the concept, basically. But it's exactly the Mayhem instance, the Halloween instance is the Planet Michael Jackson. I forget which website. I found it in some obscure website from like whenever that was, 2012 or something. But that's where this instance kind of came from, is Michael Jackson, Planet Michael Jackson. Probably the thriller theme or something, you know? So I've really wondered like how they would have put all Planet Michael Jackson together since, but you know, what kind of special shit they would have had. Oh damn! Yeah, one shot with a weapon. I mean, it's nice when you loot it like that. It's like gold. It's like golden days. It's like holy shit! Just popped my Apollo out and I won an item. Holy shit! This is awesome. Yeah, when back when those events were popular, you used to see that too. Like all the people with their long range little taggers, where they just tag them once, and then you see them stand there and wait till the next mob gets pulled, hoping for that glorious like that one. Yeah, I forget which site it was. I think I have a bookmark somewhere on where the Planet Michael Jackson concept. They had a couple of images of concept things for it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I am impressed because I mean, if you think about it, it's such a brilliant concept because you have one instance, you just repeat it. It's copy paste. You know, it doesn't work every year, but that's okay. You just fix it as it breaks. You know? It's like a perfect product, and people come and buy it every year. We come and pay them. It's not very, you know, it's not the best design in the world for our standpoint, but for a company standpoint, it's pretty brilliant. They've got us like mice. Yeah. We're consumers though. We like, you know, we want things to actually be worthwhile, you know? I don't think Mindark is in that state. They're just like, yeah, we don't care. As long as it works and most of the people aren't complaining, I think we're doing our good job. That's probably the metric too, is like, how many complaints do we have right now? Okay, then it's not that bad. Probably go to that's probably why they go to the forums too. They're like, okay, what do they say on the forums? Oh, we got people that are complaining. Shit. Why would you log in to test things when you got us? You just have us log in and test things. It's free. Silly Bella. Hey, thanks for the follow, Jam 86.4. That's not 86.4, it's 864. My restaurant days of 86 and people. Yeah, and they're mostly graphic artists, really. There's like not really a whole lot of programmers in the whole thing. There was also one time where we somebody had posted it on one of the forums. I think it was like not the main forum, but like Planet Calypso, not PCF, but one of the other ones, Entropia Partners or something. I forget which one, but somebody had posted where they found the asset package where the Sleipner, the quad, the Pitbull, it was like all the vehicles that they bought, like when they got all that, it was like an asset package on some 3D object site for like $100 or $150. And you could buy the quad with the Pitbull, and it was like an asset package of vehicles, of sci-fi vehicles. So they didn't even really design those, apparently, because the sci-fi package looked exactly like the ones they got, at least. And it was on one of those, buy an asset package for your game kind of thing for $150. And it was like, if you think about, if that's what they did to design, quads, like, oh man, like for $150, they got so much out of that. All these vehicles we pay for and craft, and the Firebird. When I won that, the ARC guy was saying we paid more for the Firebird than you won it for. So that means that they pay at least $1,600 for each Firebird. And for Mindark, all that is a copy paste. Like copy paste. Okay, here's a Firebird for you, $1,600. Thanks. Like pretty easy job. Not too hard. That's pretty easy money right there. Just copy paste and sell it to ARC. Hope they sell it for more. Oh yeah. Yeah, things like that really, I'm sure, do probably hurt them pretty bad. Yeah. Although, the interesting thing also is that, a lot of people think that Mindark is taken from us, and they're really just kind of like the management company. They're really not the ones that they're not the ones making the money, by and large. It's people, it's players. And it's people who own the CLD, or it's the Planet Partners, or it's the people who own CP deeds or whatever, but it's players who own those deeds and get the revenue for it. Mindark mostly just manages it. So it's kind of an interesting deal to where they, with Calypso, they own half of it. So they do get that part of it. But it's not a whole lot in comparison compared to like wherever else we go. And here we always blame Mindark. But it's ultimately, it's just the system that they built that we just end up paying another player thinking it's Mindark. Sub-Zero, how you doing? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We deposit money to be paid to testers. Isn't that how it works? It's the privilege of being an EU beta tester. We get to log in and then buy boxes and shit, and then we get to figure out if it works. It's awesome. Yeah, is it? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised in the Arc Moon mobs. Although I thought that that's what like Deathifier was fighting about. Wasn't it something about I think I heard something about Scoria. The Scoria mob design was maybe his. Or maybe that's the whole thing, is he bought the package and brought it into the game and tried to claim ownership. Like that would be even worse if he was like, "Yeah, I bought these mobs, so they're mine. I get to own all the revenue forever." When he bought them off an acid package, that would be funny as shit. Actually, that would be really funny. 6 years of the longest legal battle in the Philippines over an acid package mob. That would be epic. That'd be the longest lawsuit over an acid package mob ever for the history of the world for the next 10 million years. If that's the case. Yeah, free massage. Yeah. Yeah, although they did flip it, I think they did finally flip it, and it actually looked pretty decent by the time I finished it. I was a little impressed. I didn't think they could do that good, but it did look pretty decent from the last picture I saw of it, anyway. But yeah, the castle. Careers at Mindark? Are they high? Oh, wait, do you have to be a pedophile? If anybody remembers that whole snafu, I think you have to be a pedophile. I think that was the at least back then. That was a different management. They hired a guy that was in the game. He was a player, and he was all social media, everything. And they basically hired him because he had this social media following. And it turns out he was like a pedophile, like a pretty bad one, like stalking 14-year-old girls online or something. And they hired him. They flew him out to Sweden. He fucking got the job, and then like all that went down, and he got fired. And never hear about it again, you know? But that was bad, though. That was like the one time they hired from the community, and it was like the worst community hire they could have gotten. I forget what that dude's name was. But there was a whole thing about it. It wasn't good. Did I get the boss already and I just didn't pay attention? I should have the boss already. But maybe I wasn't paying attention. I was going to run over the... Yeah, I might as well run over. My pills are done. Boss or no boss? I'll see if we can run over and see if there's like a... I don't know if that coffin is still up there or not. I don't know if we can jump over it, though. Yeah, it might be that we can't even get in there now. Yeah, I don't think we can get through there anymore. It's kind of a bummer. It'd be kind of neat to go up there. Yeah, it would be kind of neat to have like a boss up in a little church up here or something to go kill. Something extra. Nope, we're all locked out. Yep. Bastards. Yeah, I believe his Camp Vamp was up in, or at least wherever that. I think it was further up you had to run to get to that that house, but there was like a coffin that was right there at the base of that house. Yeah, especially with the package deal that you could get with the boss. The old bow tie treatment. So that one wasn't. Well, let's see here. We're at what, 2,800? So down 100 and down 120. Down 220 with the repairs. So about even between the two of them. Plus boxes, I guess. All right, sweet. Well, I got those 2 runs in. I wanted to get some data for throw this up on YouTube. Do Cat 10 and Cat 9. New Halloween ring looks pretty good. I don't have the stats on it right offhand, but it looked pretty decent actually. It's got some crit, it's got some reload, it's got some hit points. So it looked pretty good. It might. I wonder if anybody's got one already. Actually, we'll do Ween ring. Let's see if there's any. Oh yeah, there's one. So yeah, it's 10% run speed, 3% reload, 8% crit damage, 10% health, and then 4% critical chance, which is actually, that's probably the money right there. That's what I see as the money right there, is the more crit you have, that it's just so nice. Just adds up. And more DPP. DPP is best gotten through crit. And then DPP also affects your items, so you'll get more ESI or more guns or things like that with higher DPP. Which really, crit is the best way to boost that. It's not. A lot of people, will say, "Well, this gun has like 4.2 DPP, and I'll sell it to you." And it might have 4.2 DPP when they tested it, but it is a variable, so it does change between person to person. So depending on what your hit is or what your skills are, your DPP might be a little less, and if you're using more crit, you actually might get better than what they had, or vice versa, but its crit would be the most bang for your buck to get for DPP anyway, if you want items, which we're not seeing any of this year. So it doesn't matter. Yeah, and I'm like, this setup has actually wasted crit. That's how much I'm on crit, because this one is oh shit, I didn't change my rings before I went in there. So I was running off my other one, so I didn't have my max crit. But this is actually 6% crit, so I'm capped at 5, and then it's 65% without pills, which is nice once you throw a pill on it, because that's a lot of free damage. Just a lot of free damage when you can get 500 points of free damage every time you crit. And of course, crit makes more sense the higher DPS you are. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense if you got like a gun that's doing 10 damage, because even if you crit, you're doing 5 more. It's not, for the time spent, you're really not gaining anything out of that. So there is a limit that I would say that crit is really beneficial. But at high DPS, it's the more DPS you throw at it, and especially with Lifesteal, crit plus Lifesteal is just insane, because you get 700 crit You got 3,500, or 70 Lifesteal, or basically with the 10%, which is nice. Just compounds so nicely with crit on so many different things, Yeah. Yeah, 10% Lifesteal is fun. Yeah, too. Yeah. Yeah, and I can't tell what the one thing that's been throwing me off over the past couple year and a half is misses. Like I'll get more misses than over evades. And I don't know how much of a factor that is for mobs, because if we get misses and evades and we only see evades off of mobs, then what else might be factored in there, Like that's been throwing me off a little bit because I get more misses now than I do evades on even mobs where I'm really high, like I'm way overboard on evade. And I think it's tied to profession, because it's usually when my profession level is way over the mob, then I'll start missing like crazy. I'll get more misses, but I can't tell for sure what's actually affecting misses. But I definitely get it more than I used to. Whereas like coming up at like level 50, I'd get a lot more evades and like barely any misses. At least I don't know. It's so I'm a little puzzled on why if we see evades and misses, what the other part the mob is giving when we see just evades. Like maybe there's something else there that's like that. That's maybe it's making up for crit that we have, or I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with my supremacy setup, I've got 10% lifesteal, but it's only 3% crit. So it's a little bit less on the crit than I'd like, but it's still really nice. And you don't even really need to FAP at that point, especially when you have a resto on top of it. Because like my resto 20 does like 50 to 60 a tick. So between that and crits and just regular lifesteal, you could take it's like nothing. Yeah, although I get them both at the same, you get them both. You get misses and evades. And like if you're really like if you got like 50 mobs on you, you'll see miss evade all over the place, and you think you're in a pageant and you won the miss evade pageant or something, but it's like misses and evades. That's all it is. So yeah, maybe it's a max the mob. Yeah, maybe it's. But is it off the weapon or the looter skill or the that's where I just don't know exactly where it's coming from. But it's more the more skill I get, the more it happens. But I don't know if it's because it's more evade skill or if it's more pyro skill as opposed to like what the mob has for whatever its profession is. I don't know what kind of ratios it might be comparing. But yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, there's still some factor of it that's never quite maxed. Yeah, exactly. But where the misses come from, that's where I don't know whether it's. It seems to me that's like maybe if your profession level is so much over the mob level or something. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to test a lot of that stuff anymore too. When you get so many misses and evades, you know, what can you do if you're getting a bit of both? It's kind of hard to really parse it out. But yeah, I got to take a break here, get some food. But I'm gonna figure out who we got for. I appreciate everybody coming by today. It's awesome seeing all the faces and the names, and the chats. But I want to see if we can pass this on to some other Twitcher doing some Entropia. So I got to figure out how to do that first. Get back into my dashboard. All right. All right, let's see who we got streaming. All right, that's weird. T. Watkins. Miss Watson. I haven't seen Miss Watson in a while. I have to do that one. Yeah, I think we'll do with Miss Watson. She's awesome. But I appreciate everybody coming by, that's for sure. Hope you guys get some big fat loots for your mayhems. Have a happy Halloween and all that if I don't see you. And then, yeah, we'll see you soon. Hopefully on the hop list. Have a good day. Raiding Miss Watson. I better pull up her thing so I have the chat. Why am I not? Oh, I'm not logged in. It's like I know I have her followed. I just did. All right, so we're gonna rate her. Hope you guys have a good day. Thank you.